we're gonna like just introduce ourselves really quick because no one's online yet. This is Chris, my buddy Chris from Salt Lake. It's not really where you're from.
Yeah, Denver.
And I actually met Chris in Thailand, which is pretty cool. What were you doing in Thailand?
I was working on a startup and was trying to get into, I was going to start a business program there that didn't end up working out.
Yeah, because things don't always work out, you guys. And that is what, nice segue, that is what the live is about today. We are here, it is the 4th of July. And after like driving here on the right hand side of the road, I totally played some Lee Greenwood. Proud to be an American on the way here.
See, the funny thing is, I don't even know who that is.
See, I totally do. So that shows how lame I am. But I was like, yes, this is it, 4th of July. There's like 5 million frigging American flags on my way here. I was like, oh god, there's like so many. Anyway, so I played that, came up here, Memory Park. Do you guys want to see? This is what it looks like. Hey, the dog's like totally quieted down. This was like 10 minutes ago. I was like, seriously? Oh no, there we go, they're back. Alright, so I was like thinking of the video that I was going to do today because I am trying to do a video semi-regularly. Hopefully every day. It depends on if I can get my like hair into shape or not usually. So one thing that I watched a YouTube video this morning that was really interesting because I always talk about this fear of success, and I actually have a video on that previously and on YouTube. I don't think yeah, it's just on YouTube, it's not on Facebook. And so this woman was talking on this YouTube video, I don't even know what I was watching, but I was watching it. And she said, fear of success is not a thing. And I was like, it is a thing. She said, this is what it really is that people are afraid of wasting time. They're afraid of wasting all their effort. And it's not like a fear of success that stops you from doing your best and doing all the stuff that you want to do. It's the fear that you will put in all of your effort and put in 100%. Nice hat. You'll put in 100% at this thing that you're trying to do. And the dogs. Guys, stop sabotaging this live. What the hell?
This is
the park. Well, it's like literally up to my punchline as well. Okay. Where are your dog parents? Okay, so let me just get back into that. Let's get you back in the mood of the message that I was just giving. You can literally, you're scared of giving 100% at this thing that you're trying to do, you know, putting everything in there, and then realizing that it's not good enough. That your best effort was not good enough. And so that is why, and this resonated with me because I freaking do it all the time. I don't have a fear of success.
So would it be like a form of fear of vulnerability?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Let me tell you how it is for me. I said I have a fear of success because that is what it sounded like to me, but really how it shows up is that I don't want to do my best work. I don't want to put 100% of my effort in. And I've seen that actually. I've seen this in my groups and stuff like that. People don't want to put 100% of the effort in because if they fail then, it means something. They're not superhuman. They're not as great as they thought. They're not like this freaking invincible, amazing. They're not a prodigy, right? They're not an anomaly. And everyone, right? Not everyone, but most people think that they're an anomaly. They think that they, like for example, this is a really, hold on, give me a sec on this, because this is a really good example. Trevor Chapman made $1 million in 92 days. On his first 92 days, first online store, right? So do you know how many people we have had email us saying, oh, I can do it faster than that. I can do it, I'll do exactly, you know, I'm gonna be whatever amazing prodigy, I'll be your best student. Like, there are 2 people who said that who have like followed through and been like pretty good students. They're not the best, but they did okay. Like, a lot of the people who say that either don't join the course and they try and do it on their own and they fail, or they do join the course and then they like literally, it's harder than they thought, and they're faced with the idea that maybe they're not a prodigy, maybe they're not an anomaly, and so they're like, whoa, and they just give up. And that is your real fear, is that you will not be, your best effort will not be good enough. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think you're right, and that's something that I think I've experienced in the past, but also made me think of, I'm real into design thinking, and for those of you who don't know what design thinking is, it's more of, it's a process, a scientific method for coming up with solutions to problems. And a lot of it is starting out with a lot of inspiration and testing and probing. So when I think my rebuttal to this, or what I wanted to ask you was, are you going, a lot of the design thinking is not doing your best. Mm-hmm. It's testing. And same with like Tim Ferriss's 80-20 rule.
I love it.
You know, he's preaching, don't do your best, so you can test the market. So I guess what I wanted to ask you more was, do you think people might take that too far and like start using this
self-sabotaging?
Yeah. Or does that play into doing your best? Is like by probing, is that just a form of doing your best, but like understanding that you have to keep on probing until you come up with something? Or is that just being lazy? I mean, so I just feel like there's this...
I got it. I got it. It's a really good point. I'm glad that you brought that up. Because it's like the same thing, but it's a different way of looking at it. So I could, you know, if you started, let's say you started an e-commerce course, and then you know, it didn't go well. You thought of the wrong niche, or you screwed up your ads, or you spent like $1,000 without doing anything. Now, you either can look at that and go, holy shit, I'm like, that was either my best effort, or that was pretty close to my best effort, and I'm screwing it up. I'm out. I have to leave quickly, or else, like, let's just pretend this never happened. Or you can take that attitude of design thinking, which I totally didn't know what that was, and just like have everything be a work in progress. That is literally, like, everyone wants to say that they put in like 20% of their effort and they were this freaking anomaly and it's amazing. But guys, that's not a real thing. Like, sometimes, like, it depends on if that dog is like, is it dying? Is that dog dying? Oh, it's scared of the water. Anyway, so sometimes people, this is just a dog park, isn't it? Is this a gay dog park? Have you brought me to a gay dog park?
Only for you.
Oh, great. There's literally, like, everyone, that dog is fine. It's not dying. It's just like terrified of the water, but like throwing itself into the water. Is this like a metaphor for people who are like doing e-commerce? There are like 7 million dogs here right now. So if this was that could
dog
be a
days
metaphor.
of summer.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so look, figure out what is your like your worst fear, or one of your fears, or whatever, and like change the angle of your thinking on it. You know, if you've spent $500 on ads and you haven't gotten anywhere with them yet, like, does this mean something about you? Fuck no. Doesn't mean anything about you. If you start a business and it failed, does it mean something? Does it have an intrinsic meaning about who you are? No. Like, you don't have to, first of all, you don't have to put in like, or you should always put in 100% of your effort, but you don't have to feel like if that fails, that means something about you. And so, anyways, that's the live or the YouTube video I watched this morning, was this woman saying that, and it resonated with me because I don't have a fear of success, actually. I think in like hundreds of thousands of dollars now, and I don't have a problem with it, whereas I totally have had before. But now I feel sometimes, depending on how I look at the problem, if I do my best work and it's not good enough, there's that moment of like, oh, does that mean something about me? No, just hire someone who's better at you to do it, to do that thing, or like learn how to do it, or just, yeah, maybe just don't take it that seriously. So, I don't know, closing remarks? I think my phone's gonna die.
Yeah, I do, but I'm afraid I'm going to go off on the tangents.
Phone
Fear of
dies.
success, I mean, the sooner you can find ways to remove your ego from whatever project you're working on, the better, I found.
Yeah, that's probably a
Because
good way of putting it. Yeah.
there's just so many things out of your control.
Yeah.
And I think all people, all entrepreneurs, anything that makes stuff, they all start off by getting super emotionally attached to what they're doing. And the longer you get into it, and the more courage you get, more creative confidence you get, the more you remove your ego from it and just understand it's part of a process.
Yeah, those small wins. Like when people get their first sale or their first 10 sales or whatever, you're building that confidence up. When you don't have any, it's really hard to build it up, but and so any small hit to your ego is like really a really big deal, and you're like, oh, does it mean something about me? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything about you. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
I should have you in all my lives. I think I should have Chris in all my lives. Alright, I'm pretty sure my battery's about to die, but happy 4th of July, everyone, and cheers. This Red's Raspberry
Totally American.
This live was brought to you by Red's Raspberry Ale. Catch you later.